You can start.
Sure, sure. Uh, Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Now, let's not waste any more time and let's get started with the topic of open source intelligence. So, about me, as Mayank already informed you, I'm Rituraj Verma and I'm currently working as cybersecurity professional as well as cybersecurity professional, cyber forensic professional as well. So, I have a total of 3+ years of experience in digital forensic, cybersecurity, and investigation in private companies as well as government agencies. So, let's start with today's topic. It is all about open source intelligence. So before going very deeper into the theory, I would like to clear the basics of the term open source intelligence. So basically, as you can deduce by the term open source, basically the source of the intelligence itself is open. Like you don't basically go and look for information in like which are classified and all. So this types of information or intel should be collected openly, like in public or which are available all over the internet and basically stuff like that. So let's start with the basic theory now. So OSINT refers to the collection and analysis of data gathering by the public available sources to produce actionable intelligence. So as I mentioned, the information should be publicly available, and basically the key character of you know uh, the open source intelligence should be mostly used for ethical purposes only. Generally we can use it for there are various type of open source intelligence for like why and how we can use it. So like we can use it in cybersecurity, we can use it in digital forensic. We can also use like generally companies HRs also use it for background verification check, and even the few psychologists, law enforcement. There are lot of fields which uses open source intelligence. So, as we know, we are living in 2024 right now. We'll soon hit 2025. So, the basically we are in the age of complete technology and digital. We at least have one or two devices which are available and which are completely online. So that's why open source intelligence is important to know about. So there are multiple sources from where one can gather intel. It can be Facebook, it can be Twitter, it can be blog, it can be a public platform, public record, news articles, forums. It can be government website, online publication. Like it can be even your research papers which are available. So challenges only the OSINT is the volume of information you will get will be there are a lot of information, and there are also misinformation, disinformation which are available, and basically there are a lot of issues with false positive information as well. To avoid such scenario, we usually try to look for multiple sources. So basically the technique of open source intelligence can be manual or can be automated. Basically you can go through manually, you can perform Google dorking, which is actually a very manual way. Basically you search for a query on a Google, or it can be a Bing, it can be any search engine. Every search engine has its own logical way of searching. So basically you usually use that logical search query for your benefit to basically get the information about something or someone. And there is also automated methods which are available nowadays. A lot of sites are basically available. Those site basically offers you site, or it can be said as a web application. They have API keys and all. So basically you just shoot any kind of query, or any kind of number, or any kind of email, and it will start looking for the information by itself by using its crawlers. So basically the very general like method involves gather, process, and analyze the data. So basically you will have to first of all gather the information from the sources which I have already mentioned you, like LinkedIn, like news article, or it can be anything. Then we will just process the data, like we'll just compile all the data we have gathered, and then we'll start the analysis of the data. Like we'll look for the relevant data, which we can basically what my agenda is. So depending on the agenda, I'll analyze the data accordingly. Like it can be background verification check. So in like in case of background verification check, I'll also check if there are any criminal cases available. So in that case, I'll have to look for various government sites. And in fact, the social media monitoring is also important. Like you have to see what kind of posts the person does. Is there anything controversial that this person do or not? Like it can also show how the person perceives the sentiments, like post, like how they express their anger, how they express their happiness, etc., and what kind of person they are following. So it can basically tell you about a lot of things. So there are multiple techniques, as I have mentioned. Web scraping can be considered as automated technique, data mining tools. So basically, web scraping is nothing but just scraping the data which is available. There are a lot of open source intelligence tool for Twitter. Like it, you can use the Twitter without login, or you can interact with those posts. You can read the comments, and there are a lot of things like that. So web scraping can be anything. Like you'll have to basically scrape the data or mine the data, and then you can analyze it by processing it. And there are like also geolocation and mapping techniques which can help you a lot when you are in law enforcement or something like that. And there are a lot of tools which has data visualization. Like you can for basics you can go for Tableau. Like there are a lot of visualization tools which can link a lot of things. Like there are also tools like Maltego, which can have give you a lot of information by mapping the target and sub targets of your choice. So let's start with the basic tool. Like I'll basically show the uh, practical sooner, but we'll just discuss about the main theory first. So basically, as I have said, you have to first collect the data, analyze it, visualize it, and uh, basically you have to just make it very presentable to yourself as well. So this open source intelligence tool can be all-in-one solution for you. There are a lot of tools like Maltego, as I've mentioned. There is also Spiderfoot for automated reconnaissance. So basically, Spiderfoot has a lot of API connection which you can use. Like there are multiple API keys, like depending on the usage. Like you can look for blockchain address, basically in case of crypto currency or crypto scam, something like that. And there are also Shodan. Like Shodan is basically let's just say it is a kind of a Google for every kind of connected devices which are available. And Gephi is basically something which helps you mapping all the targets, devices, sub targets, as we usually do in Maltego. and depending on the case, you'll have to see what kind of tool you can go for, and what kind of API key you can go for, depending on the investigation or what kind of it is. So basically, as I said, there are multiple like fields in open source intelligence itself. Basically, in terms of cybersecurity, you will like generally look for the not for the person, rather you will look for organization. In case of VAPT, in case of cyber attacks, there are a lot of instances like in cybersecurity. So it can be your basic VAPT, which like OSINT can help in. Like we usually use Nmap, we usually use like multiple tools are there, NASAs, to see what kind of ports are open, what kind of vulnerabilities are available to like public. So to avoid the uh, exploits to get into the bad hands. And same as I have mentioned, uh, like there was a like good example of this like there are multiple cyber attacks. So Mirai botnet was there, uh, which used to do DDoS attacks on the targets. So basically it was done by open source analysis. Like the person basically started getting the zombies, or rather I should say botnets, through the open source intelligence. Like he saw that there are this weak passwords of these devices, so he started capturing those devices and started to make his own cyber army of botnets. And then he started attacking with those machines to any kind of specific target, to basically take down their services. So it was a actually best example of open source intelligence, like how unethically it can be used in cybersecurity domain. So there is also like open source intelligence in digital forensic. So generally, in digital forensic, we usually there are a lot of fields in digital forensic itself. Like it can be forensic accounting, but we are specifically talking about the criminal investigation. So basically, as I have told you, you can understand targets, target as in a person or an organization, mentality, or its aptitude, or its choices, preferences, and basically see like what kind of person, or what kind of organization, or what kind of group of people this are. So basically, by like doing this, it can help a lot in to interrogate the target or the suspect. You can also basically keep it in report, so that you can show that the person was a history cheater. So basically, it is also important in digital forensic. And as I've mentioned, the world case scenario would be a Silk Road marketplace operator. So basically, FBI had called a person from Silk Road marketplace, and basically started doing like basic open source intelligence to see what kind of person he is. And slowly and steadily they realized this person has a lot of connection with Silk Road. And there were many instances. You can also look it up after this session. It is actually a best case. Like it can help you a lot to understand open source intelligence, as well as the Silk Road marketplace incident. So open source intelligence in law enforcement agency, related to digital forensic, related to cybersecurity. So this is basically a compilation of those both. Like it can be a malware attack, it can be any kind of like terrorist person who is there, a group of people who actually poses threat to a certain organization, country, or to a like individual. So you can basically see what kind of person behavior is there. So as I've mentioned previously, it helps a lot to law enforcement agencies as well. So there was a case of Boston Marathon bombers. So basically, police had to, they saw there was this post which were done by these bombers to like give hints. It was to give to the people that where they are going to do a bomb blast and all. So you can also look it up. This is actually also another good case for a case study. So basically, OSINT is very general term. I generally break it down to like multiple terms. Like it can be human intelligence. Basically, when you go through a person and basically like interview them or interrogate them, like you do it like in physical means. So that is what you call as human intelligence. Like you go to a person and you ask them for their opinion, like what do you think about XYZ organization. So that is what you consider as human intelligence. There is also signal intelligence, which is called as SIGINT. Basically, you will have to monitor the electronic conversation and transmission. Like it is generally done by interception department of law enforcement or military. It can be also done in demilitarized zone. So basically, when you monitor any kind of conversation, like it can be a video call, voice call, it can be a text message. So basically, you are decrypting those signal, and you are using it for information. So that is what signal intelligence is. Imaginary intelligence is basically all about the visual photo. Like you'll basically, you have used Google Maps to see how those places looks like in 3D. Like you can look for images the people have contributed. So that is what I meant is that is imaginary intelligence. And measurement and signature intelligence is nothing but it is used by scientists and like mathematicians generally. They use it to uncover any kind of for example, let's say there was a nuclear blast. So to calculate, they will see the clip of the nuclear blast and they will calculate how much area would have that blast has covered, or how much impact it might have made, and how much kind of radiation it might have spread through to the area. So that is what mass int is all about. And there was also an example. There was actually a reel which I have came across last month. So there was this guy. He was basically uh, talking about a picture. There was this person who was saying people are nowadays shorter and all. So this person took the like in the photo. This person was taking a mirror selfie. So this person actually calculated the size of the iPhone. He calculated the distance between the hand of and the person. He started calculating it, and he took like he basically calculated the approximate height of that person, which was actually 5'3". So that is how it is actually very crucial thing, which can be used in OSINT by data scientists, by law enforcement agency, depending on the case. So let's go ahead. So let's go for a case study. In 2018, as we all know about the Cambridge Analytica scandal, it was all about Facebook data, where the Mark Zuckerberg was held responsible. So basically, Cambridge Analytica scandal revealed the misuse of Facebook user data for political profiling and targeted advertisement. So basically, it was all about the 5 lakh profile. It was around 50 million. Yeah. So 50 million profiles were compromised, like the data, what kind of ad preference they go for, what kind of post they like. And it was actually used for political advertisement, like depending on how and what kind of preference do the XYZ or ABC area has. So depending on that, uh, like the political parties made a use of that data. And there were so basically they scraped the data as a developer and all. You can look it up after this. So then the Facebook were actually charged for like heavily charged for the this vulnerability in itself. Like then Facebook restricted the developer access for most of the people. So let's go ahead. uh, So, as I've mentioned, it highlights the power of open source intelligence in shaping public opinion and driving changes in digital landscape. So, as I said, there are a lot of instances when we usually get targeted ads. Like we are talking about ice cream, and suddenly we are like getting to see those advertisement right off the bat, like around in 5 or 10 minutes. People start getting those advertisement on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever those sites are using the advertisement agencies as. So there are future trends and like about the open source intelligence trends and challenges. Like nowadays, artificial intelligence, machine learning can basically help us a lot in open source intelligence. So generally, a psychological profiling can also be done. Like you basically have to collect all the data, and you don't have to process it. Just throw the data to the AI, and AI will basically do the basic analysis and list it down for you if you have trained it in a specific way. Or there are a lot of machines available as well, like for like basically to see what kind of person or what kind of sentiment this person messages has. So that is what creates a challenge about, like as I said, it can be used in ethical or unethical way. So this is the major challenge. And artificial intelligence make it easier uh, for unethical uses. So that is what I meant for from the challenge, and it is also a trend. So as you might have also have known about deepfakes, basically it is actually used to swipe the face of a person to completely another person. And it is actually basically really hard to uh, classify the data, which one is real, which one is fake. That's how much AI has changed. So it can be like open source intelligence can be used in this case as well, but it makes it a lot harder and challenging when it comes to deep fake. So let's talk about psychological profiling. As I said, open source information is not only like related to technology. It is also it is basically like we are gathering the information about a person, how psychologically that person responds to a thing or anything. So psychological profiling is nothing but it lists down the characteristics, behavior tendencies, the emotional attributes, and multi-dimensional representation of a person mental and emotional makeup. And basically how they cope with things, how they react to a certain kind of stimulus. uh, and basically you can it gives you a lot of idea to predict their behavior, thoughts, and their potential future actions. So uh, general I'd say the general kind of format is this is how you should collect the data, like personality traits, behavior patterns, emotional attributes. So basically in personality traits you write about the person's personality, how and what kind of person they are they introvert, are they extrovert, how what kind of temperament they have, like how they react to things. and it can also fall into the behavior patterns as well. Like there are a lot of behavior of a person which can be verbal, as well as it can be in action. How they socially interact with others, like are they kind of sociopath, are they kind of like, there are a lot of things which are there. Emotional regulation and coping mechanism, like how they cope with the things, how they cope with stress. There are a lot of things. And then we are moving to emotional attributes, basically stress tolerance, resilience, emotional intelligence, empathy, mood stability, and emotional reactivity is what falls under the emotional attributes. And there are also more to this, not only these three traits. So basically, motivation and needs, what kind of motivation or what kind of needs this person has, or basically what kind of things can motivate this person to do something. So this is what motivation and needs covers. Vulnerabilities and risk, what kind of vulnerability, this is actually uh, talking about the person psychology rather than the technology vulnerability. So like risk factor, what kind of substance abuse or addiction this person has, like does he take too much alcohol, does this person does a drug abuse or something. So we also look for aggressiveness and violent behavior. There are multiple things which we look for. There are also limitation to the psychological profiling. So behavior and personality can vary depending on the situation and environment. So as I said, how this person react into the stress, maybe there might be something which has happened to this person before we started collecting the data. So that can change uh, like uh, profiling as well. So we need to make sure that we take multiple instances and we collect the data for longer time. And the second limitation is subject to biasness. So it can be anchoring bias, it can be confirmation bias. Confirmation bias, as in a person is, investigator is thinking he is right, and to prove he is right, he'll try anything to make him see that it is right. And it can be like very probabilistic and deterministic, which can be like, we can't be very sure about behaviors of this person. So these are the three limitations. So let's go through the case study. This scene is actually from Mr. Robot, and let's look for this clip. Let me know if the clip is audible. Did Can you hear this, like the audio?
No, Rituraj, it's not audible properly.
No, no, not audible.
Okay, wait. Is it now?
No.
Wait, I'll try to put this clip uh, like separately. Let me know if you all can hear this.
Actually, it does have a little minor volume, like very bearable. We can hear it.
Let me see. The voice is on 100%. So any kind of control we can. Mhm. Uh, I think you can try to increase the media volume of your device. Uh, Let me know if that works. I'll start playing then. Because the clip is quite longer. So coming back to the presentation, let me know if the presentation is visible.
No, sir.
Okay, let me. Is it still not visible?
Yes, sir. Not visible.
Not visible.
Okay, I'll check. Hope it is visible now.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the clip, if it was not very much audible, I'll give you the context. So this was actually a extracted scene from Mr. Robot web series. So the context is basically Elliot Anderson, that is our protagonist, is on the mission to infiltrate Steel Mountain, a data storage facility, as a part of larger hacking plan. So basically, the context is, as I have mentioned, this person is actually the Elliot person, is actually on a mission to infiltrate this organization. So there is this guard he meets, which is whose name is Bill Hamper. So we'll just go through those points, which can give you the basic idea of what was going on the clip if it was not audible. So Bill's introduction: Bill Harper is introduced as an employee at Steel Mounted organization responsible for visitor management and security. Elliot's strategy was to bypass Bill to gain further access to the facility, and basically he tried psychological manipulation method. So basically, Elliot identified Bill's insecurity, and he started to use those insecurity to his advantage. He basically targets at Bill's vulnerability by belittling him and undermining his confidence. So like there was further in this clip that he looks up how, what kind of preferences Bill has. Like he posts a lot about cats and all. So he deduced that this person is quite bright person and is also at same time quite lonely. So this is what how he profiled him. uh, so verbal confrontation, Elliot verbally dismantles Bill and making him feel insignificant and unimportant in his job role. So he basically said that no one would care if like you resigned or you die while doing this job. So it makes a huge emotional impact on Bill. Basically, he, like as you saw in the clip, Bill started crying, and since he targeted his uh, like vulnerabilities and his insecurities, it affected him a lot. So it was a tactical, the tactics were succeeded, and by exploiting Bill's weakness, Elliot successfully manipulated him into calling him his supervisor, which was part of Elliot's plan to advance in his infiltration. So, Bill's replacement following the confrontation, a supervisor replaces Bill, allowing Elliot to proceed with his mission. So, as you saw in the end, the person who came in was actually Bill's supervisor. So, the scene highlight the effectiveness of psychological manipulation in achieving tactical objectives. And the modern complexity in this scene was it basically raises the ethical question about use of personal vulnerabilities for the strategic gain. And like this person also used open source intelligence, like he stalked his social media, and basically that is how he created the profile of Bill and Bill's supervisor. So he'll continue with the next slide. So this was the basic psychological profile of Bill. It is actually a very short version of thing because I couldn't go for a bigger one. So personality trait: Bill appears to be cautiousness and dedicated to his job, but lacks self-confidence and assertiveness. Emotional state: he is emotionally sensitive and easily affected by the criticism or negative feedback, indicating he has a low self-esteem. The social dynamic: Bill may struggle with social interaction that involve confrontation and assertiveness, often yielding to more dominant personalities. The vulnerability of Bill was like his need for validation and fear of inequity, which make him susceptible to manipulation by others who recognize these traits. And work ethics: despite his vulnerabilities, Bill likely values his role and seeks to perform well. Through this, can be overshadowed by his insecurities. So this is the very very basic psychological profile which Elliot Anderson created to to find an exploit and Bill. So moving further, like I told you about. Like open source intelligence in cybersecurity. This is actually a part of open source intelligence in cybersecurity. Basically, vulnerability profiling. So, as I said, when you basically make a psychological profiling for a person, and if you are targeting for a technology, you need to basically profile a machine or any kind of organization as well. So your objective is to basically find a vulnerability, what kind of weak points are there, and uncover those vulnerabilities for your benefit, depending on what you are doing. Like in case, let's say it is a VAPT. So, technique used: open source intelligence tool are employed to gather information from public sources, include data about software version, open ports, system config. So, for this you can use Nmap. There are multiple tools. I'll show you in a bit. So it can help a lot while you are doing pen testing as well. You can create a profile and then you can show it to the person or and the organization what kind of vulnerability they are. That is what the main objective of VAPT is, to show what kind of vulnerabilities are there. So OSINT can be used for data collection, digital footprint, and as I have already mentioned about the tools, Maltego, ReconNG are general automated data collection tools, which has a lot of scripts, which has API access. So to like basically create a technical profile of any kind of machine. So before moving to Q&A session, I'll just quickly cover the basic open source intelligent things. So this is Shodan search engine. So just a second. Yeah, I hope my browser screen is visible.
Yes, yes, we can see it. Yes, it's
All
visible.
right, all right. Let's move ahead. So I'll search for camera. So basically, like Shodan has lot of like all the connected devices. Like it can be IoT device or it can be server, are actually connected on this. Like is it is basically a Google of those applications or basically those IoT devices which can be accessed. So I'll not move like quite deeper, but I'll show you what kind of stuff are there. Basically, you can see Hikvision IP camera. So these are the basic stuff which you can see. It can help a lot. So it is on 82 port TCP, 81, 53, 53. These are the open ports of that IP address, like which the camera has or the IoT device has. So as you can see, there are a lot of things. So it can be camera, it can be web server, it can be like a refrigerator as well, the smart refrigerator which we have nowadays in home. So let's like since we are having time constraint, let's move on to the OSINT framework. This is actually a framework which was created like a lot of tool were compiled, like it is kind of a tool database which you can look for. So basically in OSINT framework, there are all this kind of information which you can look for. For example, if I want to let's say go for public record. So there are US voter records. There are this website which is available for that. So let's search John. See, this gives a lot of information about a person. Like the John is the last name, or it can be a middle name. I think it's a middle name mostly or last name. So it this OSINT framework can help you a lot. However, you just need to make sure those tools are available. Some tools might have stopped getting updated. All these tools are mostly open source. However, some are paid. So you can, after this session, you can like go through each and every tool, each and every framework which is available. So let's move on to the next one. So this is basically forensically beta, like 29 a.ch is the basic site. So this is actually a good site for visual forensic. Like if there is a picture, you doubt if that has someone has manipulated it. So you can see the error level analysis by doing error level analysis. If this if there is any kind of manipulation in the image. So I'll for example, I'll increase the quality of jpg and I'll increase the opacity. So if I increase the quality of the jpeg, so you can see this blue crystalline area which is quite loud, and this as well. Keep on increasing the quality. See, now this is the uh, part which is highlighted the most, and this as well. So this is actually the manipulated part. Why it is called error level analysis? Because it is an additional level which has been put on the image. So I think the base is like clear now. See, this is how loud the UFO and this parachute guys and the stuff are like less noisy. And this is also a very uh, very important part of open source intelligence. If you have someone's email and if you want to see what kind of person he is and where his database has been leaked. So let's say uh, looking for John Doe at gmail.com. Has the email ID been found? Basically, has any kind of data breach happened to this Gmail or the email ID? So there are lot of places where the data of the email has been leaked. Just a second.
So जो अभी युवराज ने बोला कि डेटा लीक हुआ है, so
Uh,
that is why like you should never use your Gmail or any personal website on every website, right? If you are logging into some
yes.
website, then you should not use that particular your personal website. You should use temporary mails, right? If you want to
Yes.
log in into a website so that your data is safe with you, right? So the website you showed, it clearly says that the data has been breached, right? On the websites which are displayed. So you should never ever try to log in with the Gmail or your personal email ID, right? Just use temp mail. Okay. If you search temporary mails on Google or DuckDuckGo, and so the first option will claim, that's the option temp mail. You will get new email ID every time. Okay, you just have to copy that email ID and just use it. That's how you can make account on every website. You don't need to just allow Gmail to get give access to that website, so that you are allowing that website to get access for your information, राइट? आप अपनी इंफॉर्मेशन का एक्सेस उस वेबसाइट को दे रहे हैं अगर आप जीमेल आईडी को अलाउ कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? और
Yes.
जैसे लाइक इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए लाइक ऋतुराज ने एक टूल बताया था मल्टी को, ठीक है ना?
Right.
बहुत अच्छा टूल है लिटरली. If you have the paid version of that tool, it's the best you can get in the market. Like ओपन सोर्स तो बहुत सारे हैं, ठीक है? एक स्पाइडर 50 है जो बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल के देता है, जो ओपन सोर्स है. बट इफ यू हैव दैट पेड वर्जन ऑफ द मल्टीगो, दैट मींस इट्स द बेस्ट टूल टू गेट इंफॉर्मेशन किसी भी चीज की. बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस होते हैं, वो ट्रायल वर्जन्स में लिमिटेड एक्सेस मिलता है आपको, सारे ऑप्शंस नहीं रहते. बाकी उसमें क्रिप्टो क्या, लाइक सब चीज का ऑप्शन आपके पास अवेलेबल रहता है टू गेट द इंफॉर्मेशन, ठीक है ना? तो मेरे को बस ये पॉइंट ऐड करना था कि कभी भी जीमेल अकाउंट का एक्सेस कहीं भी मत दो. वो सबसे ज्यादा जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपकी गूगल के पास है, तो ट्राई टू यूज टेम्पररी emails, for the time being, and if you are logging into any website, just use that temporary emails. So yes, you can continue.
Very true. I actually agree with your point. This point had to be mentioned as a cyber awareness. It is like literally very important. And not only the sites I have mentioned, there is when you go down below, you can see the paste you were found in. Basically, that email and the data related to that email was actually found in the pastebin sites as well. So basically we can also deduce that when I see there were few see Egypt government stuff. So I can basically deduce that this email is actually has something to do with Egypt. Like this person or this individual or this organization is actually from Egypt. So you can deduce a lot of things with this thing. And
Yes, absolutely. Because if the information is available on the internet, right, and
right,
that means you are in trouble. Please believe
right,
me. Right. Open source intelligence means the in all the information which is available on the internet for everyone. It is open source. That's why we are saying open source intelligence. To gather the information, open source via open source, that means the information which is on the internet, like which is on the social media, which is on any website, on any government website, anything. Right. So it is to be, you should be, use your emails, use your mobile number very carefully wherever you are using.
very
It is
true.
the best way to protect yourself from cyber crime. वरना तो लोग पागल बनाते रहेंगे, आप लोग बनते रहेंगे और अच्छे अच्छे पढ़े
Voice
लिखे
is
लोग
cracking, sir. Voice is cracking.
हाँ जी.
Your voice is cracking.
My voice is cracking.
Yeah.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, it is
Yeah, I
fine.
can.
Okay. So just थोड़ा सा आप अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन को कहीं भी मत प्रोवाइड करिए। अगर आपको यूज़ लगता है तब भी सोच समझ के टेम्परेरी मोबाइल नंबर्स भी मिल जाते हैं इंडिया में। It is possible to get temporary mobile numbers like 10 right? So use those mobile numbers. जो मैंने टूल बताया था वो टूल भी ऋतुराज ने ओपन किया है फाइटर राइट सो it is also a good tool to gather information. So as you can see, it's the temporary mobile number website, right? So you can select any country, the number will be displayed on your screen. So like that. Okay, so you can just copy it and just use it anywhere. And the message or the OTP will come below this, like these. Okay, so try to use temporary things so that your personal data is safe.
Right. Uh, so let's the like go through our last tool which we have here, which was actually I was supposed to use it at first, but since we had time constraint, so I'll go through this quickly. So this is actually Spiderfoot tool. I generally use the paid version with a lot of API keys. However, I don't have the server access which can be showed right now publicly. So I'll basically show you the free version of it. So I have already done some scans previously. In case of IP address reconnaissance, see you can see there are a lot of things which you can search for. Like it can be domain name, it can be IP4 IP address, it can be IPv6 address, it can be host name or subdomain, it can be subnet, it can be a Bitcoin address as well, it can be email, it can be phone number, it can be human's name, it can be username, it can be network ASN, so it can be anything. So basically I did a random uh, bitcoin this reconnaissance, bitcoin address reconnaissance, and I had two results. I'll show you. So this is actually what it confirmed. Element is the result, source element. Okay, so just a second. So the bitcoin balance, as you can see, this is the balance of that person. uh, like this is the balance which he has in his wallet right now. See this kind of things can uncover a lot of things in case of crypto mining, or it can be anything. Like you found an address, you want to see how much balance is there, what address it has to do with. Since this, as I already mentioned, this is actually free version, it has lot of restriction. But when you actually gather those API keys, this tool can be as powerful as can any paid tool get. Same with Maltego. Maltego has little bit of challenging UI. Just a second. Okay. So basically, I basically did the on IP address. I can't do that because right now, because it will take a while to basically go through and search, basically crawl all the data. So these are the co-hosted site on that server. So this can help you a lot when it comes to any kind of malware investigation. It can be forensic investigation. It can be any context. So let's end the practical session here right now, and go to the Q&A session if anyone has any kind of question. Does anyone has any kind of question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, how to make sock puppet?
Sorry.
Sir, how to make sock puppets dummy account for social media investigation?
Okay, okay. So there are, as I have already mentioned, there are few open source intelligence tool available. Like for Twitter specifically, there are a lot of things. Twitter deck, as far as I know, was something which I used a while back. Okay, it is asking for a login. So Twitter deck has multiple instances, and like you can do it manually as well. Since I'm going through this quickly, we, as have already showed you, you can use temp mail, you can use temp phone number for a, in case of like, let's say if you are looking for someone on LinkedIn, it will give that person a notification. So you're mostly asking for those kind of investigation, right? Because I think those are the things which can uncover, like, who is investigating that person. It can raise an alarm to that person. So you can simply copy this email address, you can copy this temp number, and you can register it through that. And in case if that gets reported, you can buy, in case if it is high level investigation, you can buy any temporary number anytime, no problem with that. Or you can just get any kind of temporary server as well. So any other question do you have? Anyone any questions? You can type it as well if you want.
Any questions you can ask if you want, and if you all have no questions, so we'll end it here only. If you have any questions, you can raise hand and ask the question. Okay, so silence means no questions, right? So we'll end this session here only. Okay, you can again watch this webinar. We will upload the webinar on YouTube, and he will paste the link in the WhatsApp channel. So you can again watch the webinar if you want to. Okay, and if you want to see the, you know, the tools which he showed again.